From the ancient villages nestled in the rolling hills to the deep, dark forests that stretch endlessly across the landscape, the Slavic lands are rich with tales of strange and fearsome beings. These stories, passed down through generations, form the backbone of Slavic mythology, a pantheon of gods, spirits, and creatures that lurk in the shadows of folklore. These beings, often both beautiful and terrifying, embody the dualities of life: joy and sorrow, creation and destruction, hope and despair. Baba Yaga, the enigmatic witch. Perhaps one of the most iconic figures in Slavic folklore is Baba Yaga, a witch or ogress who dwells in a forest hut perched on chicken legs. Baba Yaga embodies a blend of dark and sometimes benevolent traits, making her one of the most enigmatic figures in mythology. She is traditionally portrayed as having formidable powers, including the ability to fly in a mortar, steering with a pestle, and using a broom to sweep away her tracks behind her. Baba Yaga's hut is surrounded by a fence made of human bones, reinforcing her fearsome reputation. In many tales, she appears as a figure who challenges protagonists with difficult tasks, which can either lead to their demise or aid in their transformation and growth. This dual nature suggests that Baba Yaga may serve as a guardian of the fountains of the waters of life and death, symbolizing the cycle of nature and life. Despite her terrifying demeanor, Baba Yaga occasionally offers crucial help to heroes and heroines, guiding them with her wisdom and magical items. Her portrayal varies significantly across different stories. Sometimes she is a solitary figure who interacts with visitors to her hut, either helping them or hindering them based on their actions or her whims. In other narratives, Baba Yaga appears as one of three sisters, all sharing the same name, each owning a chicken-legged hut and possessing similar traits. The night spirit. Babe is a night spirit or bogeyman often invoked to ensure children behave and sleep throughout the night. This mythical figure is portrayed as a dark, sometimes crooked old man who may appear with physical defects like muteness or lameness. Traditionally, Babe is said to abduct children who misbehave or fail to go to sleep at night. He is often depicted with a bag or cane and is believed to reside in locations such as forests, swamps, or gardens. At night, Babe is said to approach children's windows to watch them, adding a sinister aspect to his role in folklore. This entity is referred to by various names across different Slavic languages, including Baba in Russian and Babe in Ukrainian. Babe's primary role is to instill fear in children, encouraging them to behave and stay in bed at night. The Alkonost, the bird of paradise. The Alkonost is one of the most enchanting creatures in Slavic mythology. Depicted as a bird with the body of a majestic avian and the head of a beautiful woman, the Alkonost is known for her extraordinarily melodious and mesmerizing voice. Her song is said to bring immense joy or deep sorrow, depending on the listener's state of mind. The Alkonost's voice is believed to have prophetic powers, often signaling forthcoming changes or imparting a state of blissful oblivion. This mythical creature is associated with paradisiacal realms and symbolizes the dual nature of existence. She embodies both the fleeting nature of happiness and the eternal hope that underpins human resilience. In many tales, the Alkonost is portrayed as a benign entity whose presence heralds good omens and peace. She is often contrasted with the Siren, another bird-woman creature from Slavic folklore, who is more malevolent in nature. Traditionally, the Alkonost is said to lay her eggs on the seashore. These eggs are believed to have the power to calm the sea until they hatch, bringing tranquility and renewal to the waters. The Alkonost's connection to the sea and her role as a harbinger of peace make her a revered figure in Slavic mythology. Azdaya, the demonic dragon. In stark contrast to the Alkonost, the Azdaya is a formidable and malevolent creature in Slavic mythology. Often described as a demonic version of the dragon, Azdaya is a fearsome beast with an odd number of heads, commonly 3, 5, or 7. This creature is noted for its destructive powers, including the ability to spit fire and cause earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. Azdaya is believed to originate from ancient Slavic lore, where it is thought to live in dark, subterranean places. Its depiction as a serpent or dragon that consumes others of its kind to gain formidable size and power highlights its menacing nature. In Serbian folklore, There are stories where St. George is believed to have slain an Azdaea instead of a regular dragon, underscoring its significance in local mythology. The creature's fearsome reputation is so profound that its imagery was adopted by Christianity to represent evil, much like the devil in Western lore. Azdaea's association with chaos and danger makes it one of the most dreaded entities in Slavic mythology. Baba Yaga witch. Baba Yaga is a fearsome figure in southern Slavic folklore, depicted as an old witch or hag with a horn on her forehead, which differentiates her from her Eastern Slavic counterpart, Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is known for her terrifying appearance, with haggard features, long unkempt hair, and an iron-like nose. She is primarily featured in myths and stories from regions like Serbia, Croatia, and Bosnia. Often portrayed as an antagonist in folklore, Baba Yaga uses her supernatural powers to hinder heroes on their quests. She is also known for kidnapping disobedient children, a common theme in Slavic myths intended to instill fear and encourage good behavior among the young. Despite her frightening nature, some stories depict her as a protective figure, visiting children at night to ensure that they have pleasant dreams and scaring them back to sleep if they wake up. Baba Yaga differs from Baba Yaga in her bulkier build and the horn on her forehead. She also resides in a dark cave, unlike Baba Yaga's chicken-legged hut. In some tales, Baba Yaga owns a powerful horse and commands various animals, which help her in her tasks. Balashko, the three-headed giant, is a three-headed giant known for his terrifying presence and immense power. Each of his three heads possesses distinct abilities. One breathes fire, another emits freezing cold winds, and the third head often symbolizes brute strength. These powers, however, have a limitation. They can only be used for a short period, after which Balashko becomes vulnerable. This temporary weakness becomes the key to defeating him, as seen in various tales where clever heroes exploit this limitation. One of the most famous stories involving Balashko is found in the Serbian epic Sana's Wedding, where he serves under King Miloš. In this tale, Balashko attempts to kidnap Princess Roxana, only to be defeated by the hero Miloš Vinović. Balashko's role as a formidable adversary highlights the themes of cunning and bravery in Slavic folklore. Bok, the carnivorous monster. The Bok is a menacing figure known as a carnivorous, animal-like monster that lurks in dark, abandoned places such as caves, barns, and deserted houses. Its primary role in mythology is as a boogeyman, used to frighten children and keep them away from dangerous shadowy areas. The Bok is described as a stealthy stalker with glowing eyes, capable of snatching and devouring anyone who ventures too close to its hiding spots. Despite its terrifying nature, the Bok is easily frightened by loud noises and bright light, which can drive it away. This dual nature as both a fearsome predator and a creature with significant vulnerabilities makes it a compelling figure in the folklore of the region. The Bok's origins are tied to the southern Slavs, with its name deriving from Serbian onomatopoeia, similar to the English boo used to scare someone. Some interpretations suggest that the legend of the Bok may be inspired by real animals, such as bears, that once roamed Serbia but have since become extinct. The Bok's role as a cautionary figure serves to warn children of the dangers that lurk in the dark. Beda, the demon of misfortune. Beda, sometimes known as Bida in Polish folklore, is a malevolent demon closely associated with poverty, misfortune, and tragedy. In Slavic mythology, Beda is often depicted as a thin, scaly old woman with a terrifying appearance. Her long, stringy hair and hollow black eyes make her a haunting figure. She is believed to wander the world, bringing calamities and suffering to the homes she visits. The presence of Beda is said to bring a cascade of disasters, including fires, the death of livestock, and the loss of crops. Her influence is so pervasive that she is considered almost impossible to remove once she settles in a household. According to folklore, Beda could transform into small animals or inanimate objects like a log, making it difficult for people to identify or expel her. Interestingly, the word bieda in Polish translates to poverty, reflecting the demon's role in spreading hardship and despair. Legends say that Beda is an immortal being, making her very hard to defeat. The only way to rid oneself of her curse is to trick her into moving into another person's home.
The demon of
also known as Bais, is a demon associated with chaos and evil. This malevolent spirit was believed to cause distress, possess individuals, and drive them to madness. Over time, as Christianity spread, Bez became more closely linked with the concept of the devil, transforming from a general spirit of misfortune into a symbol of malevolent power. These demons were thought to inhabit remote places like forests and mountains, lurking in the shadows to wreak havoc on those who ventured too close. The image of Bes evolved significantly under Christian influence, where many of these ancient spirits were reinterpreted as devils or agents of evil. Bez's association with chaos and temptation makes him a feared figure in Slavic folklore. Bomar, the demon of rage. Bomar is a powerful and ancient demon regarded as one of the most malevolent spirits in Slavic mythology. Known for possessing individuals or animals, Bomar transforms its host into vessels of pure rage and evil. This possession leaves the host acting violently, often causing irreversible harm. The demon's influence is so intense that it can drive a person to madness, leading to a swift and tragic end. Bomar's presence is feared not only for the havoc it wreaks during possession, but also for the lasting impact it leaves on its victims. Those who survive the encounter with Bomar are often left mentally scarred, struggling with lingering madness that can haunt them for the rest of their lives. The demon's ability to embody the combined malevolence of multiple evil spirits makes it one of the most dreaded entities in Slavic folklore. Bukovac, the six-legged monster. Bukovac is a fearsome creature in Slavic mythology, particularly known in the folklore of regions like Serbia and Croatia. This mythical being is typically depicted as a six-legged monster with nailed horns, bright blue eyes, and a slimy, amphibious body. Bukovac is said to dwell in lakes and pools, emerging from the water at night to create loud, terrifying noises. Bukovac is not just a noisy nuisance but a dangerous predator. It is believed to attack both humans and animals, often attempting to strangle them with its powerful limbs. The creature is also associated with unexplained phenomena, such as mysterious disappearances and strange sounds around bodies of water. While it primarily instills fear, Bukovac is sometimes portrayed as a trickster, using its abilities to play pranks on unsuspecting victims. Chort, the malevolent spirit. Chort is a malevolent spirit or demon deeply rooted in Slavic folklore, commonly depicted with horns, hooves, and a tail, resembling a traditional image of a devil. Chort is often associated with chaos and evil. He embodies the darker aspects of the supernatural world, and his presence is linked to misfortune and temptation. Chort is known to be a trickster, delighting in leading people astray or tempting them into sinful behavior. In some Slavic traditions, Chort is considered the son of Chernobog, the god of darkness and chaos, and Mara, a goddess associated with death. This lineage emphasizes his connection with the underworld and his role in maintaining the balance between good and evil. Chort's abilities include shape-shifting and causing chaos, making him a formidable adversary in many folktales. Chuma, the personification of the plague. Chuma, also known as Kuga, is a personification of the plague in Slavic mythology, particularly within Serbian, Bulgarian, and broader Southern Slavic traditions. She is typically depicted as a terrifying old woman, often dressed in white, with long, unkempt hair and a ghastly pale complexion. In some versions of the myth, Chuma is also portrayed with goat-like features, further emphasizing her connection to death and disease. Chuma is not merely a bringer of death, but is seen as a goddess or spirit whose presence signals an impending plague. Her arrival in a village was considered a harbinger of doom, as she would spread illness and death wherever she went. Despite her fearsome reputation, some tales suggest that if properly appeased with offerings such as basil and other herbs, Chuma might spare a household or even provide a peaceful death to those who encounter her. Domovoi, the household spirit. The Domovoi is a revered household spirit in Slavic folklore, particularly within Russian traditions. This ancient figure is seen as the guardian of the home, responsible for protecting the family and ensuring their well-being. Typically, the Domovoi is depicted as a small, elderly man with a long beard, sometimes covered in hair from head to toe. He is believed to live in the hearth, behind the stove, or in other nooks and crannies of the house, rarely showing himself to the inhabitants. The Domovoi's primary role is to safeguard the household from misfortune and malevolent spirits. He is known to warn the family of impending danger by making noises such as knocking or causing dogs to howl. A content Domovoi is considered a sign of prosperity and harmony in the home, and families would often leave offerings like bread, milk, or even small items of clothing to keep him pleased. In some traditions, the Domovoi is connected to ancestor worship, believed to be the spirit of a deceased family member who continues to look after the living. This connection underscores the deep ties between the family, their home, and their spiritual protector. However, the Domovoi can become mischievous or even malevolent if disrespected or ignored, causing trouble around the house until properly appeased. Drekavac, the restless spirit. The Drekavac, also known as the screamer or the screecher, is believed to be the restless spirit of an unbaptized child or a sinful person returning from the grave to haunt the living. The creature is often depicted in various forms, most commonly as a small undead child or a human canine that walks on its hind legs. It is said to emit a blood-curdling scream that can be heard from great distances, often foretelling death or illness. Drekavac is believed to be visible only at night, particularly during certain times of the year, such as the unbaptized days, the 12 days of Christmas, or early spring, when other supernatural beings are thought to be more active. The creature avoids light and dogs, and it is said that if its shadow falls upon a person, that individual will soon fall ill and die. Gamayun, the bird of wisdom. Gamayun, much like the alkanost, is a mystical creature often depicted as a large bird with the head of a beautiful woman. This creature is closely associated with wisdom, knowledge, and prophecy. Gamayun is believed to possess divine knowledge of all creation, including gods, heroes, and humans, making her a revered figure in Russian folklore. Living on an island near paradise, she is said to deliver divine messages and prophecies through her enchanting and often cryptic songs. Her voice is believed to have magical properties, and those who can decipher her hymns may gain profound wisdom or insights into the future. Gamayun is also connected to several Slavic gods, particularly Velis, the god of wisdom in the underworld. In some traditions, she is seen as a personification of Velis, further highlighting her role as a keeper of secrets and a messenger between the divine and mortal worlds. Lesnik, also known as Lesovic and other regional variations, is a powerful forest spirit in Slavic mythology. This enigmatic being serves as the guardian of the forest, protecting its trees, animals, and all who dwell within. Lesnik is a master shapeshifter, capable of transforming into various forms, including animals, plants, or even human-like figures with goat-like features. This ability allows him to blend seamlessly into his surroundings, making him an elusive and formidable presence in the woods. He is often portrayed as a mischievous spirit who delights in leading travelers astray, confusing them with illusions or playing pranks. However, his actions are not purely malevolent. They often reflect the respect or disrespect shown by humans towards the natural world. Those who treat the forest with reverence may find Lesnik to be a helpful guide, while those who harm the environment may incur his wrath. In some depictions, Lesnik appears with human characteristics, such as a man with goat's feet, horns, and a green beard made of moss and leaves. His power is at its peak deep within the forest, particularly in areas with ancient trees and wildlife. Lesnik's role as a protector of the forest underscores the importance of nature in Slavic culture and the belief in the interconnectedness of all living things. Likho is a malevolent figure symbolizing evil fate and misfortune. This creature is commonly depicted as a one-eyed, old and gaunt woman dressed in black, although other versions describe Likho as a male goblin or a giant taller than the trees. Despite the variations, all representations share the creature's association with bad luck and calamity. Historically, Likho was often considered a servant of death, particularly during times of epidemics. In Slavic tales, encountering Likho usually results in disaster, with the creature embodying the unpredictable and often cruel twists of fate. Some stories recount Likho riding on a person's back, leading them to accidental drownings or tricking them into fatal situations. Likho's role as a harbinger of misfortune serves as a reminder of the fragility of human life and the capriciousness of fate. The nightmare spirit. Mora is a female spirit known for causing nightmares. Believed to sit on the chest of her victims during sleep, Mora leads to a sensation of suffocation or intense pressure, which often results in disturbing dreams or a terrifying inability to move. This phenomenon is closely related to what we now understand as sleep paralysis. As a shapeshifter, Mora can appear in various forms, including a beautiful woman, an old crone, or animals like cats and horses. While she is generally feared for her ability to induce nightmares, some traditions also depict her as a protector of the home. To ward off her presence, people would use rituals and charms, believing that these could either appease her or repel her. Morana, the sea spirit. Morana, not to be confused with the deity Morana, is a powerful and enigmatic sea spirit, often considered a once water deity or sea nymph. She is sometimes depicted as the daughter of the sea, ruling over the waters and having control over the winds. Morana is a large, imposing figure associated with the sea, and she is sometimes linked to forces of nature, such as storms and harsh weather. While in some traditions she is seen as a protective spirit of the sea, in others she can be vengeful, causing shipwrecks and drawing sailors to their doom. Her connection to the sea makes her a significant figure in the folklore of coastal regions, where she embodies both the nurturing and destructive powers of the ocean. Nav, the spirit of decay. Nav is a malevolent spirit, particularly feared for its association with disease and decay. Often described as a terrifying skeletal figure with decaying flesh, Nav embodies the concept of a living corpse, much like a zombie in modern mythology. Its very presence is believed to bring illness, including symptoms like fever, blindness, or even causing a person's teeth to fall out. Nav is not just a symbol of physical decay, but also a harbinger of misfortune. In some traditions, it is linked to plagues and epidemics, with a sighting of Nav considered an omen of widespread sickness. The spirit's connection to death and disease underscores the fragility of human life and the ever-present threat of illness in the ancient world. Polovic, the field spirit. Polovic is a spirit associated with fields and agriculture in Slavic folklore. Often depicted as a small humanoid figure with a wild appearance, Polovic is believed to inhabit fields and meadows, particularly during the harvest season. He is known to protect crops and ensure a bountiful harvest, but he can also be mischievous, leading farmers astray or causing crops to fail if disrespected. Polovic's role as a guardian of the fields highlights the importance of agriculture in Slavic culture and the belief in spirits that influence the natural world. Farmers would often leave offerings for Polovic, such as bread or milk, to ensure his favor and a successful harvest. Rusalka, the water nymph. Are water nymphs or mermaid-like spirits associated with lakes and rivers. These beautiful young women inhabit water bodies and can have both good and evil traits, depending on regional folklore. Traditionally, Rusalki are linked to fertility themes, as they were believed to help nurture crops by transferring life-giving moisture to the fields during the spring. However, in some later tales, particularly those from the 19th century onwards, Rusalki are described as more sinister beings. These spirits are said to be the souls of young women who met tragic ends. They are known to lure men with their beauty and songs, sometimes leading to deadly consequences through drowning or even laughter. Rusalki's dual nature as both nurturing and dangerous reflects the complex relationship between humans and the natural world in Slavic folklore. Siren. The bird of sorrow, Siren, is another bird-woman creature in Slavic mythology, often depicted alongside the alkonost. Unlike the alkonost, who brings joy and hope, Siren is associated with sorrow and despair. Her song is said to be so beautiful that it can enchant listeners, leading them to forget their earthly concerns and follow her to their doom. Siren is often portrayed as a melancholic figure, her song a lament for the lost and the damned. Despite her sorrowful nature, Siren is not inherently evil. Rather, she embodies the pain and suffering that are an inevitable part of the human experience. Her presence serves as a reminder of the fragility of happiness and the ever-present shadow of sorrow. The dragon of Slavic lore. Zmaj is a significant dragon figure in Slavic mythology, particularly within Serbian tradition. Unlike the purely bad-intentioned dragons found in other mythologies, this creature is complex, often depicted as both a protector and a formidable adversary, depending on the context. Typically described as a winged being with multiple heads, Zmaj is capable of breathing fire. When it flies, it creates a distinctive whistling or howling sound that reverberates across the land. This dragon also possesses the ability to shapeshift into various forms, such as an eagle, snake, or even a human, adding to its mystical and formidable nature. Folklore suggests that these dragons are born from fiery balls that rise from lakes, eventually settling in mountainous regions to protect them. They are associated with fertility and weather control, often guarding crops from storms and other natural disasters. However, when smitten with love, the dragon might neglect its duties, leading to disastrous consequences for the villagers under its protection. Zmaj's dual role as both protector and destroyer highlights the complex relationship between humans and the natural world in Slavic folklore. Throughout this journey into the creatures of Slavic mythology and folklore, we have encountered beings that are as enigmatic as they are captivating. These creatures, steeped in the traditions and beliefs of the Slavic people, embody the fears, hopes, and mysteries that have shaped these cultures for centuries. Each offers a glimpse into a world where the natural and supernatural coexist, and where every shadow might conceal a deeper truth. As we reflect on these legends, we see that they are more than just ancient stories. They are powerful narratives that connect us to the past and remind us of the enduring themes that still resonate today. Whether they are protectors, tricksters, or harbingers of doom, these creatures continue to fascinate and inspire, reminding us of the rich tapestry of human imagination and the timeless power of myth.